Welcome to our journey in Myles. I'm Sue.
I'm Mark.
And this back here is actually Myles. That's our Class A motorhome. So we're doing this video as part of a series that we're doing. We are on an adventure caravan guided RV tour. And we're going to be traversing Michigan.
And so what that means, traversing Michigan, it's not Traverse, Michigan. We're going to be seeing all the different towns all along the way. And by the end of this tour, you're going to understand Michigan, how it came about, and how it got to be the wonderful state it is today.
Yeah, a lot of history. So this is a 31-day caravan. And basically, our series is going to show you, if you've never been on a caravan, what is it all about? We're going to show you the day-to-day life of what we're doing, where we're going, how we're going. Some is by motor coach, some will be rideshare. But it's going to show you what it feels like and looks like to be on a caravan.
We're going to try to keep it exciting for you by limiting the number of days on each of the episodes. But when you've got 31 days to cram into a 30-minute video, it's impossible. So by following the series, you will be able to see what it was like from start to finish. We think that's a pretty valuable way for you to decide if this particular caravan is for you.
That's right. So this actually is our second caravan with Adventure Caravan. Our first one was the Grand Circle, and you can check out that series. We have, like, I think about 7 videos on that one.
It was a great
oh my God,
adventure.
It was great, and that is why we're back for more with Adventure Caravan. So it's 31 days. You're going to meet our wagon master, our tail gunners, and a lot of the people we're traveling with. It is a lot of fun being on a caravan. If you haven't done one before, and if you can do one, you might want to check out Adventure Caravan.
And to answer your questions, what you're going to see is you're going to see the assortment of rigs that people show up in, the size. You're going to see a range of ages of about 45 years that are on this caravan. So that is going to answer a lot of questions right in itself.
So stick with us. This is actually our video 2 for this series. Video 1 check out, because that actually tells you why are we going on this caravan.
Right, that brings you up to speed on how we got to this point.
Right, so stick with us as we begin the actual caravan. So
what did you want to talk about now, Sue?
All right, before we get into the video, I want to talk about how really organized the Adventure Caravan is and how detailed oriented they are. So before we even went on this caravan, what was this, a month or 2?
At least about a month, because they try to have the most current, correct, edited information in this pack before they print it out.
Yeah, this is a prep packet made just for traversing Michigan. But the nice thing is that they have photographs of our wagon master and tail gunners, so we know who they are. But they also give you a lot of things that you want to consider, like items you want to take along, things to consider. It's really thorough. So you have a really good idea of what you need to do and prepare for before you actually get on the caravan. And they also, I just want to point out too, they also put down the itinerary day by day where you're going to be going. It's not detailed, but it gives you an idea of what's going to happen that day.
And I could tell you that during the trip, we ended up referring to this. So this is not something that's fluff where they send it to you and you don't use it.
Detail.
But some of the other things you end up getting the contact information of all the folks you're going to be traveling with. And what that does for you, it kind of helps you start to categorize and remember who these people are, because there's information on what they're driving and how long it is.
So, you know, that is one thing with caravans. You're going to make friends. You're going to bond. It really kind of does start with the prep part. Another thing I want to point out is before the caravan, your wagon masters are going to call you. And they're going to, you know, answer any questions you have. You got their attention one-on-one. So if you haven't done a caravan, you can ask things you're worried about. You know, if you're traveling with a pet, how is that handled? They handle that well, by the way. So that's kind of nice too. They really do get you ready and comfortable for your caravan.
Is that it?
That's it.
We're done.
Okay, now let's get going. So we're done in Indiana, and we are heading up to Michigan for our adventure caravan, where we're traversing Michigan. We are excited. Before the caravan, we made sure that Myles, that's our motorhome, was all ready. We had some repairs done that were needed and some maintenance. This is a really important thing to take care of so you hopefully don't have problems on the caravan. So we're heading over to the Ann Arbor area, and as we got closer to our destination, we stopped to fill up so we don't have to make too many fuel stops on the caravan. The good thing is, if you do need to stop more often than we do with our 150-gallon tank, the trip log they give us will show you where the fuel stops are. We'll get to the trip log in a bit. So, we usually stop at a TA and use our Open Roads Diesel Fuel Discount Card. If you don't already have it, you really do want to check it out. And you can take a look at our episode 223. We talk all about it. So here at Wendy's, not only do you get a burger, Wendy's, but you get your window washed.
Excellent.
And with this stop, we saved $41.63. That's about 42 cents per gallon. Sometimes it's even more.
Turn right onto the unpaved road.
Ooh, the dust. We'll see how our ceramic coating holds up with all this. Ooh-wee. You kicked up a storm, mister.
Yeah. Well, now I gotta see how I'm gonna readjust.
We are at our first campground near Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're actually here a day earlier because we want to be calm and relaxed when people come in.
Yeah, and so far we are, because we lucked out. There's not an overabundance of 50 amp sites, and we ended up getting one.
We got lucky.
Yeah, which is kind of important for the big rig here.
Yeah, so we're actually on our way to our wagon master. They're doing a little get together just for the people that got here early. Yeah. And that would be us. So
yes.
That's where we're going.
So I think the official get together and social will be tomorrow probably. Right. You know where we're going?
Right here.
What?
Little did we know, we were with an ambitious bunch, and most of us got here the day before, which was pretty cool because those of us who were here went around and introduced ourselves, and the friendships and bonding began. All right, Pat and Paul aren't here. Our gray bus is not available, but we happened to pick up Tim. He's got our red bus.
Yes.
So you'll be seeing a lot of Tim and the red truck.
Look at how relaxed I am back here.
Yeah.
I can hardly maintain consciousness.
It's like a limo. All right, we're going to our social gathering, our orientation, and meet all the other RVers that are with us. And this is our first day. It's Monday, June 17th. So we're starting out with a social gathering at a local restaurant. Usually they do them right in the RV park in their clubhouse, but this park that we're at does not have one of the buildings. So we're actually going to a local restaurant, which actually looked pretty good. It's something on the lake.
You have received the name tag, okay? Now the name tag is very important.
It's at this time we received our trip log and got all the important information that we'll need for the next 31 days, including details for the next couple days.
So we go to dinners and things like that, that is your admission. A lot of times we'll stop at the museum.
So we're at the Greenfield Village, and you can tell we're early because they've got their morning sprinklers on.
So today's June 18th. It's the first day on our Traverse Michigan caravan, and this stop is the Greenfield Museum and the Henry Ford Museum, I guess.
Yeah, Greenfield Village.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-part museum. I was here years ago. I'm telling you that the Ford Museum, drop dead, possibly the best museum I've ever went to. I'll have that opportunity to see if I still have that opinion now that I'm much older. But I didn't have the time to do the Greenfield Museum because I spent 2 days in the other museum. So I'm really excited.
So this actually is day 2. Day 1 was yesterday. It was the orientation. So technically it's day 2, but it's the first day we're actually getting around. Last night at the dinner, it was a great, nice dinner. They gave, this is how they're operating this caravan. They handed out a handle for the itinerary for today and for tomorrow. So whenever we get together at the end of the day, they're going to let us know what's going on tomorrow, the time, and what you need. So they actually gave us a ticket today that's good for 3 places. One is for the Greenfield Village, and then we'll go to the Henry Ford Museum, but then there's the Ford factory.
That's going to be a factory tour.
Yeah, that'll be on another day though.
Yeah.
So we got here super early, and we're just waiting for the gates to open. So Mark is anxiously awaiting, and I'm telling you, Tim is a mechanical engineer just like Mark, and I'm thinking they're both going to totally geek out on all of the things we're doing here, with the Ford Museum and the Greenfield Village. We'll see. One of the things I also want to mention is on this caravan, the Traversing Michigan, there are going to be a number of days that we're actually carpooling. So today we're carpooling. We've got the red bus and Tim, and that's because we're going through museums. We're here all day. We can go at our own pace. But there are some days we will all go on a motor coach, and then we're going to be doing a lot of touring, hitting a lot of different spots. But just so you know, some of the days actually are carpool days, like today. When you first walk in the Greenfield Village, you can take a ride on the Weiser Railroad. It's actually pulled by one of the oldest steam engines, and you're going to need a ticket for this. You can also experience a ride on a Model T, or a carousel, or a horse-drawn carriage. There are lots of activities to experience here. This Greenfield Village is actually an open-air museum founded by Henry Ford, and it's got all kinds of artifacts and a lot of history of many different Americans. This village is huge, and it has nearly 100 historic buildings on 200 acres, with 7 historic districts. It's so huge, we couldn't cover it all and get to the Ford Museum too in just one day.
Look at that, it's electric. That's how quiet it is? Oh my God.
From what I read, Henry Ford's interest in the past was his inspiration for starting this village. He believed that everyday objects reflected a way of life and told history. So, he collected relics that represented life and progress. He actually restored his childhood home and had it moved to this village, and that was the beginning of Ford's interest in preserving historic buildings. And after several other restorations of buildings, at their original sites actually, he began looking to create a village.
So apparently this is the Wright Cycle Company, which Wilbur and Orville Wright, the beginning of aircraft, and the building was taken from wherever it was, completely disassembled and put together, and they did such a fantastic job. It almost seems like I'm lying to you when we're telling you that. Let's go see if we can see a plaque and they talk about bringing dirt along or something. Look at this baby. I swear that's electric.
One of the cool things about the village is that they did have people throughout that could answer a lot of questions. And this guy that was in the building of the Wright brothers actually had so much knowledge. And it turns out this is the actual building that the Kitty Hawk was built.
This is where they put together the sections of the wings, the motor that they designed and built themselves. They did the sewing for the fabric on their mother's Singer sewing machine.
This village isn't meant to represent any particular town. Ford just purchased buildings and moved them to create a town from restored buildings and to take us all back in history. So truly, there is way too much here at Greenfield Village to really capture it all in one day. Mark was here once before. He came back. Well, he didn't see this. He just went to the Ford Museum 2 days in a row. So one thing about being on a caravan is you get a taste of a lot of things that we're going to be seeing in Michigan, but then you also get to kind of realize, I really enjoyed that. I need to come back and reinvestigate it. So this could very well be a spot that we come back to and spend a little bit more time.
If this isn't enough, I'm going to have to actually jeopardize my health on this, honey.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to bend down. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Look at this.
So we just left the Greenfield village and we only spent a little over 2 hours there. But it's 87 degrees and we all decided enough is enough. So we're heading over to the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation. Air conditioning.
And we're going to have a little spot of lunch and a coffee.
Quick one.
Quick one, and then we're going to go.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Oh, this air conditioning feels awesome. Wow.
And right away it piques my interest. Oh
yeah,
my God.
They get you going. Wow. All right, we're in the Plum Market kitchen at the Henry Ford Museum. Several places to eat. We were just told go around the corner and there's a grab and go. You don't have to wait in line and get hot food, and we're good on grab and go. So that's what we're going to do. Right, we're back out there, check things out. We are dividing and conquering. I'm leaving Mark behind. I'm going to go check my stuff out. He'll check his stuff. Mark is off exploring all the machinery. I'm here checking out the art. We've got the pottery area. Just looked at some of the prom dresses from back in the day. I can't believe how tacky some of the ones were from the 70s. That was my era too. It's like, ooh. I think of my prom dress, yeah, oh, not memorable. Anyways, checking out some of the art stuff that's here in the museum too. What a selection!
I'm always amazed when something this old still has survived and somebody hasn't thrown it out, because when you look at it, obviously it was really driven hard. Okay, all kidding aside, look at the effort that has went in to showing you a cutaway of all the componentry that goes into making a farm tractor. Wow. Now this is an RV. I'm telling you that. This thing's got plenty of opportunity. In fact, I'm going to check into it. As long as it's a diesel, I'll really consider it. I'm going up and I'm experiencing what it's like to be a farmer. See if I got what it takes. Look at this. What it's like to sit in what I think is a corn picker. Oh yeah.
And then there's the Dymaxion House, designed by architect R. Buckminster Fuller as the home of the future for 1946. It kind of looks like the Airstream of houses. Fuller's original intention was to see the house mass-produced, with parts shipped to buyers and assembled by laborers in just 2 days. He started the designs in the late 1920s, but it didn't really take off until after World War II, when there was a demand for fast and affordable housing. The guide we had on this tour was great, pointing out all the innovations, like it being a prefab and constructed of aluminum, the revolving roof and airflow, water conservation, and energy efficiency. But there were too many problems, and Fuller never resolved certain engineering challenges and abandoned the project. So it never made it into production, and this is the only existing Dymaxion prototype, which was abandoned in rural Kansas and then brought to the Henry Ford Museum in 1990. You gotta walk through it to really appreciate it and the problems that the design had.
Fascinating. I didn't even know these existed. Imagine the size of the budget and the size of the buildings you need to have a display on something like this power generation plant in its entirety on display for you to enjoy. But then, if that's not your cup of tea, looking at machinery like this, you can just move over one display hall and you'll be looking at stuff like this. Now that's a museum that caters to every interest. Look at the level of detail that went into trying to explain how this Model T went together. An exploded view with the actual real parts of the vehicle. Unbelievable. The famous Wankel engine. Look at that, baby. You got everything to study at this museum.
Your place in time is pretty cool. It explores how everyday technologies shaped 5 generations of people who came of age in the 20th century. They display the everyday familiar artifacts from each generation. It was actually fun checking out the baby boomers display and stirring up my memories. There are just so many areas to explore here, but so little time, at least this time anyway. We definitely could use 2 days to explore this whole museum. All right, we decided to come back and see if we can get something to eat at the diner. Let's check it out.
It's only dessert and coffee.
Yeah, we got here a little late. Dessert and coffee only. In 1984, Henry Ford Museum acquired and moved this dilapidated 1940s diner. And after looking at photos online, it was a mess. But they spent 3 years restoring it to its 1946 appearance, looking like new. What song are you going to play while we're waiting?
Some type of a RV song or a love song. Kind of the same thing, you know?
It has 40 seats, serving sandwiches, sweets, and more. And it's here we met Jack. Gotta be one of our youngest subscribers. Good morning. It is now day 3 of our traversing Michigan Adventure Caravan Tour. And today we are actually all going to be getting on a motor coach. Good morning. All right, take 2. So today we are actually all hopping on a motor coach and we're heading into Ann Arbor, Michigan. And this is going to be a guided tour. So they're going to take us through the city. We'll stop somewhere, I think on Main Street, and have some lunch. And then we're going to be going over to the University of Michigan. And there we're going to have another guided tour of the Museum of Natural History. We'll get time to like hang around there and do what we want. And then we're back here. So it's a lot of Michigan history and seeing Ann Arbor.
I'm really glad you read the itinerary because I thought we were going to Disneyland. But this is just as good. I do have to confess that I'm a little depressed this morning.
Oh no, why are you depressed?
Well, if you'll notice that, you know, yesterday we had a piece of pie right after we were done with the museum.
Yes, we
did.
And
I thought we did pretty good because we had walked around. But I just looked at my health statistics on my phone and we walked 11,000 steps, but I only burned 394 calories. So the apple pie was 704. So
you didn't walk fast enough.
Once again, I got fatter.
Okay, yeah. Today we're watching the apple pie intake. This is for our seating. So we mix things up. So we have to pick a card. Let's go with this one. There you go.
Roll 8.
Roll 8. You and me.
You're a loser, honey.
No. 8 is a good one.
Oh, and heart is on the driver's side.
The driver's side.
Got it.
Right.
All right. The water guy. I've got a bottle.
Good morning. You know what year this Prego bus is?
You will probably have a better idea.
2022.
What? Wow. 1.
Yeah, I know what you mean about that.
Are we in this one?
Yeah, we're 7. You're 8. Oh my God.
And Caravans on the edge of the perimeter town, and also is the site of the farmers market.
Having a guide on board is awesome. I learned more about the history of Ann Arbor and historical places, along with what's going on in town right now.
That is part of the Museum of Art. The main art building is a gorgeous house. They just spent $15 million on that house.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Beautiful campus. Yep, we're in a college town.
Yep.
So we're actually stopping at the library at the University of Michigan. The University of Michigan's Law Library, also known as the Legal Research Building, has a long history. The first law library was established in 1859, and after several moves because it couldn't house the growing collection, This neo-Gothic structure, the Legal Research Building, was built by 1920s to house 100,000 volumes. It was completed in 1931 and is now considered one of the largest law library buildings in the world. That is easy to see.
I'm studying corporate law, and in particular wondering why we can't film easily in national parks.
Oh my God, I hope you find the solution. So we're actually stopping at the Botanical Garden. It's part of the University of Michigan. Unfortunately, it's raining right now, so I'm not sure how much of the gardens we'll actually get to see. But we will see the gift shop. Oh, I'm in a happy place. Oh, is this nice. Mark and I have decided when we're done RVing, we're going to buy a botanical garden and live in it, like Adam and Eve. This is so beautiful. How cool is that?
You know all the little scissors and things that you need? Remind me when we get home back in the rig. I got to cut my nose hairs.
All right, there's more outside now too. Wow. This 300-acre botanical garden and arboretum is known for its diverse natural attractions, including specialty gardens like this outdoor bonsai area.
So it's fascinating being able to watch you guys. It would only be better if we had Zen music playing.
The Botanical Gardens has many hiking trails and is dedicated to ecosystem restoration. During our visit, we had a bonus and we were able to watch them meticulously trim some trees, and we also had a chance to ask questions. So we're in downtown Ann Arbor now, and they just dropped us off. We walked down a few blocks, and we're going to actually pick up some lunch here at Old Town. But right in this area, there are a lot of places to eat, and it's actually a cool place. I think I saw a flag on one of the poles that said Creative District. Ooh. So let's go in and check it out. Once we were done having our awesome Reuben sandwiches, we were off to the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History. So the cool part about this is it's actually a guided tour.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, guided tour, and then you're on your own after that. They have a number of exhibits that explore the natural world from molecules to dinosaurs, and they also have a planetarium. And at the end of this day, we had a meeting for our travel day, which actually won't be happening for 2 days, but we decided tonight's the night for the meeting because tomorrow is a really full day touring Detroit. Good morning, and today is June 20th. It's actually our 4th day on our traversing Michigan. So yesterday we hopped on a motor coach, went to Ann Arbor, but today we're on the motor coach. We're going over to Detroit. First stop, we're going to be doing a Ford factory tour. That should be awesome. And then we're heading to Coney Island. Not sure what that is, you'll see. And then, let's see, we're going to the Motown Museum. I'm excited. I love Motown. After that, we're back on the bus, and we're going to get a tour of the Detroit area. It's going to be a long day, then we'll head back here. So we're getting started pretty early, too. It's like 8 o'clock right now.
So one thing about the OGEM channel, you pick up a lot of good tips on how to be a good RVer. And one of the things when you're going on an adventure caravan like we're on, you're going to have a lot of bus tours many times that's going to take you deep into areas that you probably would prefer not to go with your rig. And one of the things you want to always do is you want to take a little wrap along so you're not cold while you're in the bus. The other thing you want to do is you want to be very careful, like Sue. You want to make sure that you don't dress too odd so that people pick up on the fact that you may or may not be a tourist. Now you'll notice that she was pretty careful.
We came from Nashville.
Well, no, I don't think people pick on it.
Oh no?
Pick up on it. You just look good.
They didn't pick up on the Chattanooga thing either?
Okay. Nobody could tell that I'm a tourist because this little logo is extremely subtle. Come on, Sue, let's get going.
Okay, that's where we ate yesterday. He couldn't wait to wear it. So we loaded on the bus and we're headed to Detroit.
I was wondering if I could talk to the bus driver to have him turn on YouTube and turn our channel on, Our Journey in Myles. You know, he could put it on the TV then, you know. You'll notice that I kind of added something there.
Oh my God.
I think we can leave that there. I think that's okay.
First stop is the Ford Rouge factory tour. It's a 5-part experience here at the Dearborn truck plant. And there was someone that actually came on the bus to kind of give us an overview.
The only thing I'm going to tell you is that the special effects in there are...
We can't take hardly any film in there, so we're going to have to memorize everything, and then we'll tell you about it.
The factory has a lot of iconic moments of American manufacturing history, as well as today's most progressive automotive concepts. The tour includes the Legacy Theater, where you'll learn more about the history of Ford Motor Company. There's also the observation deck overlooking, where you get a bird's eye view of this massive network of production facilities with a living roof that's made up of tens of thousands of drought-resistant plants. And its main function is to collect and filter the rainfall, which is part of a natural stormwater management system, and it decreases the building's energy consumption by 7%.
No, it's not. It's not self-contained at all anymore. This is strictly...
All right, all the guys congregate over here. Can you hear the grunting? And then there's the plant walkway, which we can't show, but it is amazing. You're on a catwalk above the assembly lines, watching the coordination of machines and people to assemble these trucks. Something you really gotta see. We're getting ready to go into the truck plant, and we can't have phones on, so gotta tuck this away. And now we've finished observing the assembly lines, and sorry we couldn't show you anything, but if you're here, this is a must. Mark and the other engineers on our Caravan spent a lot of time looking and discussing. It really was amazing how they coordinated it all. But we ran out of time to check all this out, and we're now back on the bus. For lunch, we headed downtown to Detroit's original Coney, family-owned and operated since 1917. It was then that Gus Karos, a Greek immigrant, opened American Coney Island restaurant, and a few years later, he brought his brother William to Detroit to help. Gus' brother William then opened Lafayette Coney Island when space opened up right next door. I read that the chili recipes are the key to the difference. American makes its own chili, and they say it's spicier than Lafayette, but Lafayette is actually beefier and made from a family recipe. The dispute continues, and we're eating at American Coney Island. We just finished at the American Coney Island restaurant, and we decided, because Tim is the instigator, we're going to a bakery down the road. Mark and I swore we weren't going to do any sweets today, but you know, all you have to say is let's go and I'm there.
Well, and sure didn't take any arm twisting.
Well, okay. I mean, look at how thin I've been lately, you know, and now it's just all out there.
Right, we're giving in, we're having sweets.
Honey, OGM is all about honesty. Why don't you be honest with them? We're going to be a customer because we have to use the bathroom.
Did you want a coffee?
Go away, devil. I told you.
Get behind me,
First it's
Satan.
coffee, then it's the bakery. I'm not having any.
Right there, salted caramel mocha.
What if somebody in front of you takes it?
They won't. Tim's in front. I know Tim's getting a cookie.
What? I'm just cleaning it off for you.
All right, Motown. This is one of the things I've been waiting for with our Michigan thing. I love Motown, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. I mean, I had a lot of their albums, so I'm excited about being here. And this is where it all began, the Motown Museum. It was founded by Esther Gordy Edwards. That's Berry Gordy's sister, and it was founded in 1985. Hitsville, USA. It's the birthplace of the world-famous Motown sound, and from 1959 to 1972, Berry Gordy and Motown provided an opportunity for Detroit's inner-city youth to live their dreams and create music. We had a tour guide who was awesome, and we definitely recommend guides really make the visit. Our guide was so knowledgeable and shared some really interesting history and fascinating anecdotes. You're going to see an extensive array of authentic company artifacts like album covers, photographs, costumes, and other valued memorabilia. And I'm sure you can tell by now they're not allowing us to do any video or audio here, but if you get to this museum, they're first going to show you a video on the history of Motown, and this is the only place you're going to see it. And then there's the legendary Studio A with original instruments and recording equipment. The recording studio where Motown artists recorded some of the greatest hits of all time from 1959 to 72. And at the end of the tour, we were given Berry Gordy's autobiography. How about that?
Was almost 1.9 million people. Detroit proper.
And when we were done here, we actually picked up our tour guide and we drove around downtown Detroit. I have to admit, I was impressed. I had no idea what a beautiful city this is. And our guide took us through all different kinds of neighborhoods. We got to the waterfront where we could actually see Canada right across the water.
And then behind there, Ford Field, which is football. This would be Grand Circus Park. The park system has always been beautiful in Detroit. That goes to Canada, to Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
And we made just one stop where we had to see this building. The Fisher Building was built in 1928 and designated a National Historic Landmark in 1989. It's Detroit's premier destination for office and retail, entertainment, and events. Okay, so this used to be a theater over here. Yes. Okay, and a lot of offices for attorneys. The Fisher brothers of the Fisher Body Corporation hired a legendary architect, Albert Kahn, to create this over-the-top building as a thanks to the city that delivered their success here in Detroit. And they spared no expense in its creation, as you can see. And if you're wondering how the brothers accumulated their fortune, they actually pioneered the closed body for cars in 1908, which made year-round driving possible. And that's about it for Detroit and day number 4.
It's a wrap. Wait a second. Did you say day 4?
We are just
We have 27 more days of adventure for you. Why wouldn't you tune in every other week after every other week? I think that would be a good idea.
Well, okay, you put your point across. But this is just up to day 4 right now, so we've got a lot ahead of us. Make sure you stick with us to see how the rest of this caravan goes.
All right, and we'll see you in the next video.